This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Sierra 117, and you're watching Xbox Ultimate. Now, finish the fight. Chief out.
Getting thick already. Here we go.
Getting thick. That's the first words on Xbox Ultimate Podcast.
I need to drink water.
What's up, everybody? We are live. Thanks for tuning in to the show. As you can see, we're going to have a lot of fun here. We got an awesome panel for this episode. We got a lot of fun things to talk about. So I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited. Everybody hanging out in the chat nice and early. You guys rock. Thank you so much. Before we even went live, we got 27 people here. Thank you so much. I see Crazy Louie, Alvin, Anime Heaven, Mr. Kima Nix, Brian Applegate. Hey, all you guys, Geezer, Tony, all you guys freaking rock. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, look, who are these two fellas? What was that?
Don't forget Pong Soul's in the chat.
Oh, Pong Soul. Hey, Pong Soul in the chat. What's up, man? I see SloMo backslap in the chat. What's up? Look at these two guys here. Now, if you're not familiar with DPS podcasts, I don't know what you're doing, but we got two guys who they're kind of like an old married couple, as Pong was saying in the chat, who like to argue and fight sometimes, but they're entertaining to listen to, and super actual high production value show as well. I must say, I'm kind of taken back at some of the stuff I see going on with that. So shout out to you guys. What's up? We'll start with
you. Definitely watched
SloMo.
when it was a week when I was hosting.
Yeah. I saw that, like the transition
even though
thing, you know, like between when you're
even though I'm the one that came up with all those things that you see.
All of it.
Oh,
They're nice.
You found the Ember background, sir.
Yeah.
That's it.
Was there something else that you found?
Whose idea was the entire thumbnail format? Who did that?
Oh, that was a great idea. But who made the thumbnail?
Thank you. Doesn't matter if it wasn't the originator of the thought, like exploding out of my mind. You would not have.
Speaking of which,
I am the
hold on.
The creative.
If I remember,
you are the worker bee who puts the stuff together.
Okay. I'm gonna let this one go.
This is great. It's kind of like Kate and I, because a lot of times, like, I'll like say, "Hey, babe, can you come up with something like this?" And then like she goes and runs with it, right? And like she creates her own thing. So that's pretty cool. I like hearing how that stuff's made. Hey, SloMo, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's been a pretty cool day. I said before the show started, I'm kid free, so I feel so stress free right now. I can't wait to get into some topics tonight. Gonna just enjoy talking gaming with people who can actually say words correctly. Sometimes you talk with people and they say all the words wrong, and you have to be like, did you mean this word and not that word? And they're just like, what? Yeah. No, I said that correctly. And then like the entire chat has to tell them they didn't, stuff like that. Everyone here can speak at the very least on a 7th grade level, and I love it.
We have one of those too, though. His name is 3-Bit, and we love you, 3-Bit. Sometimes like he says a word that I've never heard before, and then I realize it's a word that we all know. He just says it differently than we've ever heard it before. So
I love almonds. Almonds
are my favorite snack.
Well, words are harded. Words are harded. So.
We need an emote for that one.
Absolutely. Hey, and Forte, speaking of you, what's up, dude? How are you doing today?
Oh man, good man. Just work. Today was Pokemon Day, so shout out to the 25th anniversary Pokemon team. Got my premium box here that goes for $500 online. I don't know if I'm going to open it. It might just stay sealed forever.
Wow.
There you go.
Do that.
I think that might stay sealed forever until I see the price goes to like
$100,000.
I can't hold on to it no longer. My kids gonna want it at that point.
Pay for
But
college.
listen, man, it's been a crazy day, man. Just customers galore and kids galore and wife yelling at me about her job and the things going on at it, and then me having to deal with my store, and then having to deal with SloMo for the last 2 days. So you know how that, and then I got to deal. Guess what? I got to deal with them tomorrow too. So y'all, this is like a trifecta. I don't know how y'all pulled this off. See, Mav knew what he was doing when he invited me to the show. He made sure he didn't tell me that SloMo was going to be a part of it. He just said, "Hey, are you busy?"
Came anyway.
No,
I
said,
only
"Hey,
told you each after you each said yes.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey," "Hey, are you busy?" I'm like, "No, just got home, but I'll do anything for Mav because Mav's a supporter. You got to come through, hang out with the Magnificent Seven every once in a while." But I was sitting there and I was like, "Man, I'm tired, but I ain't been on Mav's show. Let me go on over there." Then I show up and see SloMo backslap up in here, man. I try to take a one-day vacation from him.
You knew this podcast whore was not going to be able to not jump on.
I'm glad you finally admitted that.
A podcast I haven't been on yet. Oh, like that's like crack. So he definitely was on regardless.
Listen, man, SloMo. Listen, SloMo be about all.
I'm surprised he didn't hack the link and just invite himself. It's just like weird.
It just pop up magically somehow. They'd like start DMing everybody asking for the link.
No, man,
it just starts answering questions from the panel, just like, well, my opinion is who's talking? How'd you get here? Just like that's
Oh no, that happened last night with. No, man. Shout out to you guys, man. It's I appreciate the invite, and wouldn't have it as my first episode with you guys without my favorite person in the whole world, SloMo backslap.
Heck yeah, man! I appreciate both of you guys being here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And speaking of, shout out to Gamer by Choice, hit us with a $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. He says, SloMo and Forte are like listening to The Odd Couple. Very entertaining. What up, everyone? I am sure this is going to be a great show. I concur. This is going to be a great, fun show as well. And speaking of that, hey, first in my heart, babe, what's up?
Not much. Excited for the show. But man, while I've been having fun, it has been a sausage fest around here lately.
Oh,
I am looking forward to my ladies coming back.
Yeah.
oh.
Which hopefully will be very soon. I know
Yes.
I've heard from somebody that she will be back maybe after Halloween, and so
Nice.
we'll see how that goes and stuff. So looking forward to getting the family all back together. It's been too
Yes.
long.
Listen, Kaitlin, I understand how you feel. Because we had nothing but a bunch of men on our show. It was refreshing to have the AssassinLupa with us yesterday. But you do great work with what is given to you. I will give you that, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, she makes all this magic happen. I just talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Mellow Fellow from outer space. What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just finally off work and I'm freaking exhausted. So I'm just want to get in some gaming news and see what fuckery you can get into tonight.
Some fuckery? Yeah, let's get into let's get into some fuckery tonight.
All you had to do
Pong
was show up to a space today, then you would have found all of it.
Oh god.
Jeez. Hey, I avoid the spaces labeled fuckery. Pong Soul, what is up, sir? We had a fun show last night. Our first show of PM in the PM was an absolute blast. So
Great job, guys. It was awesome.
Thank you. What's up, man? How are you doing today? It's like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know it has been forever. That's what it feels like. I don't even remember the show last night. But anyways, no, it's been great. It's Friday. We're here. We've got two absolutely amazing guests, two guys I've been listening to a long time between their own show and the hundreds of other shows they all do. Look, SloMo, I thought I was the only podcast whore. I'm glad I'm not alone. So thank you. We might have to start a club soon. I think that's a requirement, but no, it's great to have you both here. I love both of you both.
Podcast Anonymous.
Exactly. We might need that too. No, I love both of you. Love what you guys do. Absolutely look up to you both. So thank you both for being here. But look, I just been mesmerized, Mav. I just, a miracle happened between today or yesterday and today. And I just can't stop staring at my screen because my UI is now in 4K. I just don't think I'm ever going to play a game again. I've been waiting for this for so long. And Jason Ronald came through with a miracle. And now I was days away from throwing away my Series X, but now that we've got 4K UI, I'm good. I'm happy now.
They rolled that out to everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's slow roll out. Yeah.
Hold up, man. Let me go look. Look, I gotta download this. Hold up.
You're gonna turn on that screen, and your world is gonna change, my friend.
Hold on.
Yes, and you won't play any more games. You're just gonna sit there staring.
I told SloMo this deal. I told this. I think it was AssassinLupa and SloMo this about 3 weeks ago when they announced it. I was like, I never really paid attention to the 4K UI on the PlayStation 5 that I have until they said that, and then I looked and I was like, dang, this UI looks sharp. Then I go back to the Xbox UI, and I'm like, ooh, that looked bad.
But then you actually play a game and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, then you play a game that doesn't matter. but most people, how most people are. They sit in party chats on Xbox Live and they just look at the game library that they thought they were going to play.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Kate actually
sitting in spaces
gets drove crazy because I'll sit there sometimes when I'm just bullshitting, and I'll just sit there and move left and right constantly in the dashboard screen.
It's so fucking annoying.
I'll go into the store.
I'm like, give me the controller. Today? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. So maybe it'll look better. I don't know. We'll see. I play a lot lately on the monitor, because I'm streaming, right? So as a smaller screen, I don't know if maybe I won't notice it as much, right? But I think if on a bigger screen, for sure, I think you'll probably notice a lot more.
Nix goes, Xbox 4K UI has a 70 Metacritic. All right.
Nice.
Oh, shoot. This is 4K.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Gaming.
My eyes don't hurt no. My eyes don't hurt no more.
You don't have to, you can put away your glasses now.
Oh, man, that Xbox green blinded me right now.
Yeah. They got the new night mode too, or something like that.
Yeah, you can set it up.
Yeah. Mode too. Yeah, I hooked up my Series X to my TV and I played Dolby Vision on Gears 5, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking game changing!" I was just I was just loving it.
You know what? You know what's game changing? Metroid Dread on a Switch OLED.
Is it worth
handheld,
it? Is it
handheld mode?
Is it good? Because I can't stand playing games in handheld for the most part.
Okay, so how I'm gonna answer that question?
No is the answer he's looking.
No, it is no, because it really it's a 2-part. Playing Metroid a handheld a good experience. I'd rather play it on the TV.
Yeah,
but playing Switch OLED in handheld is the only way to go. It's like the only reason to own the system is to play it in handheld. Like I
agree, it's not a console; it's a handheld game device.
Yeah. If you're gonna hook up a Switch to a TV, don't buy an OLED. Just buy a regular Switch. Save the $50. But that OLED, like I was playing Doom probably, and I literally borrowed Doom from a friend just to see the dark areas in the game on the OLED, and oh boy, it's like looking at your bigger TV, but in the smaller form factor, and it doesn't look as bad because the pixels aren't spread out across a 1080p display. It's actually, it looks really sharp and vivid and stuff. It's really cool, but it's only if you only play handheld, it's worth it. But if you don't, stick with what you already have.
Yeah.
Forte, hold on. Forte, did you never own a Vita OLED?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I still have it.
Oh, okay. So you have seen the OLED difference before.
Yeah,
I'm just shocked by how many people are so flabbergasted by this difference. I'm like, I could have told you this. Well,
it is a difference. It is a difference in the screen quality, though. It's a big difference, but
right.
No, you're right. I played Golden Abyss and everything on the Vita.
I was gonna say
Superstar Just Delta, played all that stuff on the OLED, and
because the difference between the LCD and the OLED on the Vita was
trash.
Huge. Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah,
trash,
awful. I still have a Vita OLED. It did give you. I love that thing. It's just I don't.
Yeah.
And the storefront sucks. You can't like buy games and stuff really on it hardly anymore. I don't know. It's like glitched or something.
I always thought that was a very unique UI, and it's the only UI they did that was different for them.
Games still look good though, right? I would argue that they look better than a lot of the Switch games.
I always felt like they should have brought the Golden Abyss to console.
Absolutely. I played it on the TV, the Sony TV.
Yeah, I played on the. Yep,
yeah,
I did too. And especially with the implementation, because the biggest thing was they didn't have touchpad back then. You know, it was just on the back of the system, and that game really takes advantage of it. But now that we have, you know, the touchpad on the PS4 and the PS5, there's no reason for them not to bring that game. I'm not trying to say they need to spruce it up. I mean, they probably would have to spruce it up a little bit, but that was a really, really good game. Yeah,
it really still looked good. Game. Yeah, even on the big screen. Look at this. We've talked about Nintendo and Sony. Welcome to Xbox Ultimate, everybody.
Yeah. Well, Mav has blue and purple going on in his background. So if you put those two colors together, you get Sony and Nintendo.
There's a little bit of green right there.
Man, but you're right, a little bit of green.
It's right there.
A little bit.
He's been slowly switching ever since he got his PS5. He's turning
there
trader.
There she is. There she is with her filter on.
Shout out to KY Bob. He says, "You folks rock. You rock, Bob." Dirk Griggity with a $5 super chat again with the folks. What's up, folks? What's up,
Dirt? What's up, Dirt?
Dirt.
How far is y'all gaming rooms apart from each other?
She's downstairs. She's and
Nav is in the guest house, which is only 3,000 square feet. So he's feeling cramped right now.
I don't know. Maybe like opposite. Like I'm upstairs in one corner of the house. She's downstairs in the other corner of the house. So pretty much almost as far away as we possibly could be from each other. But she feels like she's right next to me. Yeah. But this used to be her office, and that used to be my office. She made a switch.
I made us.
You did. You made a switch. But hey, I was glad to give it up.
Not really.
Not at first.
Not really.
It worked out though, because I couldn't do this in the front of the house. You know what I mean? Like all this cool gamer shit.
Are you saying my office isn't cool?
No, it is, but it looks more like fancy. You know what I mean?
Here we go.
Listen,
divorce court. Here we go.
I like how your room looks.
Paint him into a corner. He's just like, no, I mean this. No, I mean that. Hey, just gonna keep going, man.
Just be quiet.
Yes, baby.
Yes, dear.
Shout out also boo-boo. KY Bob with a $10 super chat. He says, "Wish I could be listening, but the wife and I have our 2 11-year-old girls and 7-year-old son in line for a haunted house. They asked for it. LOL.
Ooh.
Going to scare them good. Heck yeah, dude. Have fun with that. This is the time of year to be scaring. So,
7-year-old's gonna hate you for the rest of your life.
I remember going to a haunted house when me and my wife was dating, and every time Halloween comes around, we went to it was in a abandoned apartment building, and we was walking around the corner, and I don't usually get scared, but this dude like jumped out of nowhere, and I literally backed up. And I hit my wife behind me so hard when I backed up. There was a door behind us, and the door, she flew through the door, and it was the break room. And a whole bunch of dudes was just sitting there with their costumes on, and the guy just looked at me, shook his head, and grabbed the door and closed it as my wife was getting off the ground.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious, dude. Like, hey, what you doing in here? You're ruining the experience. What's up, everybody? This is a gaming show. We're going to talk about games at some point. So, hey, first off, we had some interesting news today regarding GTA. If you're a Xbox fan, this is something to celebrate a little bit, at least, especially if you like remasters and stuff like that. Because one of the most popular games, I would say, of all time, one of them anyway, GTA San Andreas is part of that GTA Definitive Edition trilogy thing that's coming out that's going to cost way too much money. That portion of it, at least GTA San Andreas, which I would say for a lot of people is the one they're most excited about, right, is going to be on Game Pass day one. So This
Can't
is
believe
pretty
it.
big. This is pretty big news to get that from 2K, a third-party published game. Again, that's a remaster. Going a lot of excitement about it, especially after the GTA 5 remaster got pushed back to next year.
I wonder where Strauss came up with that 30 million number. I wonder.
Well, it's interesting because obviously they had to have some kind of discussion about it. But this also fits in line a little bit with what he said with legacy titles, right? Even this is technically a new release because it's a remaster. It's a remaster of an old game. This fits within that legacy catalog, and maybe this is why he referenced that so much when he was talking about not bringing new games. Like, it makes sense that, hey, this is one of their legacy titles that they're bringing to Game Pass, and they're gonna. This is a test for them, I think, potentially to see what kind of engagement they get with Game Pass from 2K, right? So also, this is good for Game Pass because you're probably gonna get some people that are like, oh, okay, I'm gonna subscribe for a month, and just to play this game because this is GTA San Andreas, right? Like, why not? So let's start with Forte, dude. What do you think? What do you think about this, man? How big is this?
Man, the first thing I thought of, I was like, man, didn't he say that no game? He said, man, Game Pass. We ain't put no games on Game Pass. Let's just let you know how these CEOs be talking behind the scenes and stuff. They don't want to let anything out. They did say legacy stuff like that would kind of be something they would consider. This is a really good get for them. I feel like the more games that they can get into the hopper this holiday, which is going to be one of the most important holidays for Xbox, there's still going to be a very big scarcity when it comes to systems in general. But this is going to be another reason for people to say, hey, and then this is only a digital release. This isn't a physical release. So yeah, it's going to kind of go hand in hand as when they market this on the dashboard and stuff. It's like, play GTA San Andreas on Xbox Game Pass. You can't get it anywhere else. You can't go to a store and buy it. So they're going to solemnly just put this in line with that. So I think this is a really good move. In some people's eye, this is probably one of the best ones that's inside of that package altogether. And I can see them actually, when they put this in there, they're going to see a huge growth in the other games and stuff too when it comes to that. Some people are going to be like, hey, all I want to play is San Andreas. But then after they see what they did with this one, it's going to probably spark interest for people to go out and say, man, I'm just going to buy the whole pack and play all of them at this point. And I think that's a really, really good play by 2K when it comes to this. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this with a lot more games in the future. And those other games at some point probably will come to Game Pass too. I don't think just this game will end up in there. Those other ones will show up at some point too. You are right. This is a test run. And if it does really well, you will see 2K really, really hammer down with a lot of other games in the future too.
Yeah, did they announce it was for PC as well, Game Pass, or is it in cloud, or is it just on console?
They just said Game Pass, so
it's likely not. Yeah, it's likely not going to be on the Xbox because Xbox PC has to be like a UWP version, and typically those are the ones that like take a little bit longer to develop and also don't perform as great as the other versions that you'll see on Steam. I would be really shocked if it is in Xbox PC Game Pass at launch. But we're just getting Outriders on PC Game Pass.
And we just got Destiny on PC Game Pass.
Yeah,
right.
They need to
like those kind of
step that up a little bit. I think, like, if I was to give one criticism, I know they got like Age of Empires coming out there, within a few days. But it would be nice to get more of these games day and date also on PC. You also got Halo Infinite and Forza, but stuff like this, it would be pretty cool. Although
Jasper just said in the chat that they said on Twitter, no GTA and Game Pass or on PC.
Okay.
On PC.
I wonder if
it doesn't make any sense.
Because this may be something people don't mind playing on the cloud also, right? So I wonder if the cloud will work.
It probably will. Normally, games that are in Xbox Game Pass, they do go to cloud streaming on mobile phones and stuff too. I could probably see that happening. I mean, they only thing they said was Game Pass, so they really didn't specify. But if she just said that they did say on Twitter that no PC, They probably would have elaborated and said no, not to the cloud either. But since that wasn't asked to them, they probably just didn't speak on it.
Right.
I think this is a really, really good move for them because I just think it's gonna. I think it's the best out of the three that they're releasing, and I think if it does well, you'll see the other one show up in there at a later date. But then they're also just going to have people double dipping. They're going to have people that play it over there, then they're going to end up buying the game anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And SloMo, did you see the trailer? Were you like, how'd you think it looked? Right.
I thought it looked like somebody sprayed somebody sprayed some Febreze or some dog shit. Like basically, like it don't look that good. Like I saw, who was it? It was Daniel Hamad was laughing at like the original version of some guy's cornrows, and they looked like some black hot dogs that were just laid on a bald head. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, that looks terrible. Let me see what the new version looks like. And it just looks like they just spray painted the bald head black to hide the really bad cornrows. And I'm just like, this don't look that much better. Look, when I watched the trailer, like the environment, like I think that probably was super easy because they put it in Unreal Engine 4.
There's just reflections everywhere now, right? It seemed like
exactly, just by the very nature of Unreal Engine 4 being such a much better engine than what was originally created in, is naturally giving it some really big improvements that people are just like, wow, look at that. I can see water on the pavement here. And it's just like,
oh man,
I'm looking at it and I'm like, and I've seen everybody on my Twitter timeline like, oh man, I'm so hyped. I can't wait to play this again. Oh man, I haven't played this since like I was 12. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't get it.
It should stay there.
Shout out to Strauss, right? Because, well, one, shout out to Game Pass. This is a good gift for Game Pass because as much as I think GTA is overrated, I know some people probably going to throw, tomatoes at me and lettuce and whatnot. It's fine.
Make sure you aim for his face when y'all do it.
Anyway, as much as I think it's overrated, I do have to recognize that it's a super, super popular IP. And even though these games are the ugliest things I've ever seen in 2021, people are going to buy it like crazy. And Strauss Zelnick is a genius. I tell you, he's my favorite gaming executive, and here's why. I hate his policies. I hate them. I love his honesty. He just doesn't care because he knows everybody's going to buy his stuff. So he'll tell you whatever is coming in his brain. Game Pass, I put my stuff in Game Pass at launch. No one talks like that. But Strauss is like, I don't care. What are people going to do? Not buy GTA for the 30th time?
Yeah.
No, I say whatever I want. So I love that. It's refreshing to me. That interview you mentioned with Phil Spencer. Who does that? Yeah, what you at, like 30 million now? Huh? Like
yeah, that was crazy.
He's not going to tell
out
you.
There.
He's just messing with Phil. Why? What's Phil going to do? Oh, I'll never put your games on Game Pass.
But here's the
Right.
thing, though, SloMo, right?
Okay.
Like, we know that where a lot of us thought, hey, they're probably having conversations back and forth in between the two about Game Pass, and this is proof that this game's actually here day one. Like that kind of conversation you would think would have had to have been made, right? So I think 30 million could have been something like, hey, we think we're gonna hit 30 million by the end of the year, or something like that. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Strauss was like, yeah, that's great, Phil. How many zeros are you putting on the end of that check?
Yeah,
that's what Strauss was doing, right? How many zeros are going to show up?
and also, like, even though he'll say our brand new releases will never do day and date, will never do launch on Game Pass. Those games do eventually go in Game Pass anyway. Let it be 3 months later.
Yeah.
Look, Red Dead 2 has been in there, I think, twice. GTA 5 has been in there multiple times. The Borderlands games go in there. Those 2K games go in there. All their games go in there. They just don't go in there at launch. But as soon as their retail numbers reach a certain plateau, they go, okay, go ahead and throw it in Game Pass. Let's get some additional money, some free money just for having it in the service out there. It makes sense. I think it's a win-win for both Xbox and Game Pass as well as Take-Two.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see, like, is there a potential that I would say is there potential that GTA 5 remaster could potentially come to Game Pass as well, like day one? But the only thing that's taking my head out of that is remembering that it opened up the Sony show when they announced the price of the PS5 at that event, and so that leads me to think there's probably some kind of marketing deal with Sony for GTA 5. And I think didn't the last trailer show up at the last PlayStation showcase that they had
That's
couple
correct.
months ago, right? So knowing Sony in the last like what that Capcom contract that had gotten leaked, right? Those marketing deals may prevent games from going to another service, right? So I don't know, like I also,
at least for a certain period of
Right.
time.
And this one though is also coming to PS Now in what, December? I believe. GTA, San
GTA
Andreas.
3.
GTA 3.
I think it's
Right.
GTA 3 is going to be on PS Now. Yeah.
Okay, so that
Switch gets nothing. They
Right.
They get nothing. Yeah.
But it's Switch.
well, if Switch had a service, you know, that was comparable in any kind of way, then maybe they would get something.
Yeah, that's what someone asked me on Twitter today, and I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I said. If they had a service that was something like PS Now or Game Pass, they probably would have got that other. What's the third game?
It's Vice City.
That's
Vice City.
Vice City. Yeah, they probably would have got Vice City.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Craps.
Okay.
Would
so,
they put GTA on Nintendo?
They have
They
before.
would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chinatown.
Nintendo has some of the craziest shit you'll ever see on their
Yep.
on their systems. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like the family console when it comes to like Nintendo first party
Yeah.
stuff. But like there's some crazy ass stuff on there. I mean, like it almost like, you know, some of the random weird stuff you'll see on Steam.
Like Shower with Daddy?
Yeah, you could potentially. I don't know if you see Shower with Daddy on the Switch, but you may see some crazy stuff, you know, on the Switch. Like that kind of may surprise you.
Tell us more of this. Tell us more about this Shower with Daddy.
Oh, this is a
I'm
famous
gonna let you
game.
explain that, man.
No, it's a horrible, horrible game.
Horrible game.
The
that's-
concept is
It's a horrible game.
ridiculous.
You're a boy taking a shower with daddy, and you got to feel around to see who's.
Well,
your
you
dad.
lost your daddy.
Can't believe
Yeah,
you guys
and
even know
mince
what
the
this
shower.
is about.
But you have to
Well, it's
feel
because we were on
around.
a podcast
to
where they
find
told
your
us
dad.
about it.
Right.
I've not
Right.
played this.
Right.
making sure
Research
everybody
only.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were-
research only. Paul said, "I'm not touching this with a stick."
Yeah, how it was explained to me. Explained to me is that you're a kid and you got to go find the daddy that looks like you in the shower.
In the showers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
SloMo's
That-
downloading right now. There we go.
No. I do not have a Switch anymore. I mean, I probably would have looked it up.
No,
Oh, I
that-
think it's
that's
on
Steam.
Steam.
That's
It's
Yeah, it's on
on
Steam.
Steam. Yeah. That's
I mean,
how
I
Okay,
heard it's on
Slow-mo.
Steam.
I'm still not.
I heard it's
doing
got
that.
really easy
Yeah.
achievements.
a really
Yeah.
easy achievements. Go to the
I
right
think it-
dad. 1,000 gamers. Club.
Go to the right dad.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You
Are
grabbed the
my
wrong dad.
daddy?
Oh,
Jeez. All right. Moving on. Pong, San Andreas, man. How big
Yeah.
is this a big deal for 2K? Is it a big deal for Xbox? Is this gonna work out for them? Maybe cause more things to happen in the future? What you think, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, again, SloMo and Forte knocked it out of the park. I mean, you know, again, first of all, from the visual side of things, it's more than I expected, but still definitely a cash grab, right? We talked about this, man. I said from the beginning, I was hoping for the best, but kind of figured this was going to be a straight up cash grab. And that's what this is. Good for them. Like SloMo said, Strauss knows what he's doing. He knows his stuff's going to sell. Whatever they throw out there, whether they slap out there, it's going to sell like crazy, especially when it comes to Grand Theft Auto. So they're doing what they do best. They're going to make money. I'm disappointed. Obviously, you know, Vice City is my all-time favorite. Like SloMo, I don't play Grand Theft Auto like I used to. I don't find them as entertaining as I used to. But Vice City still has a special place with me. And I was hoping that, you know, obviously Vice City not only would look better, play better. And obviously I said that the one thing they could not do was not have the entire soundtrack with Vice City, because that soundtrack made that game in a lot of ways. And we still have not heard if they are getting the licensing back for all the songs or if it's going to be missing big parts of that. So for me, that's still up in the air. So I was kind of disappointed that Vice City wasn't the one coming to Game Pass, but San Andreas is probably my second favorite Grand Theft Auto. So I'm excited because now I wasn't, again, unless the soundtracks are there complete, I'm not going to slap down, the full price for these games. I do want to go back and check them out. So I'm definitely going to check out San Andreas. Now I get to do it with no risk and no money down. So we are good there. I think this was a huge get for Xbox in particular, because San Andreas, I believe, is probably the overall favorite out of these. I know a lot of people have different ones, whether it's 3 Vice City like me or San Andreas, but I think San Andreas is probably the ultimately what most people consider the best one out of this. I think there's been some polls that shows that as well. So I think this was a big get. This is something that people weren't expecting. I saw a lot of people talking about it today. A lot of people from nostalgic reasons, for nostalgic reasons, want to go back to them and just try them out again. Some people, again, as we talked about when this was first announced, there's a couple generations that have just really heard about these games. Sure, they've played the current ones, but they've heard from us older gamers how great the old ones are. And now they get a chance to play them. And they did confirm they're updating the controls to be, Grand Theft Auto 5 style. That's great. Just like Mass Effect got updates to the controls, especially Mass Effect 1, that helped, younger generations be able to get into them. This is going to give them a chance to at least try it. Now, the graphics, people might go, what? You guys used to play this stuff? Yeah, we used to play this stuff and it looked even worse than that. Go look at the old videos. So, that's still going to kind of be there. But I think what they did do with them, it's enough. I just think when you look at the modding community, they could have done so much more, and it wouldn't have taken, it wouldn't have taken a complete overhaul, kind of like Mass Effect was, especially the first one. It wouldn't have taken too much to get them up to speed a little bit more. So that I was kind of disappointed in, but overall it's a package. It's $20 a game. If you are going to slap it down, I understand why people are going to. Again, I'm a guy who plays old games. I like nostalgia, so I do go back and do it. But look, it's good for Xbox. It's going to wind up being very good for Take-Two. More people are going to be able to try out one of their favorites, and then they're going to go, okay, I got to try this out. I'm kind of back into these old. Let's just buy the rest of them, right? Let's just buy the package. Let's go through them all again. There's going to be a lot of that from the Game Pass, and I think that this all goes into what 2K is looking to do with Game Pass. Like you said, Mav, Strauss kind of worked this kind of exception into his little speech about how he doesn't believe that big games have to go in day and date into Game Pass, and doesn't fit their model. But he worked this in there knowing full well this was going to happen. And I think that they know that Game Pass does boost marketing whenever they've needed a boost. And SloMo just brought it up, whether it be Red Dead, whether it be, Grand Theft Auto, whatever the case may be, they popped them in there. They did it with NBA 2K, knowing full well that people were going to start playing and going, yeah, now I got to go buy this. And they were going to slap down their money, especially once they got their My Team going. So he does know the advantages of Game Pass, even if he doesn't think he has to do it day and date.
Yeah.
Right. He knows what it can do for a game. And I think with this coming back after all this time, it not being a full remake, it being the bare minimum, I would consider as far as a remaster goes. I think that this just is going to give them a good spike in advertising, and it's going to get, it works both ways. Game Pass is going to benefit from it. There's going to be a lot of people who just go, yeah, San Andreas is in there. Let me go try this out. So I think it's good for both parties involved here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Psycho, were you planning on playing this before?
Well, when the trilogy was announced, I was excited that San Andreas was going to be in there, and then hearing that San Andreas is coming to Game Pass, it's a win-win for me. So out of the 3, San Andreas is the one title that I was looking forward to, because I played a little bit on the PS2 back in the day, and my brother had the PS2, and I didn't finish it. So now I get to play it and experience the whole game, and hopefully I doubt it'll be there, but hot coffee mod, let's see if that's
that's probably, they probably got rid of that at this point. I I would think, but we'll
I don't
see.
know. We can find a workaround, but anyway, we'll see.
Hey, Forte, by the way, not to interrupt you, it's like
No,
while it's
okay.
on my mind. Hey, does GameStop buy back the hot coffee version of San Andreas yet? Or is that still on the ban list of
It's
not
still
buying
on the
back?
ban list.
Is it? Okay, I've still got my copy because they wouldn't buy it back for me.
Yeah, they don't buy that back.
That's
man.
hilarious.
That's great.
Hey,
Sorry, Psycho.
I remember when
Oh, it's
someone
all
traded
good.
that, tried to trade it in, and we did it by accident. They came and said, "You know, we don't take this right," and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Yeah,
Wow.
sold that bitch on eBay.
Does
Hey.
it go for a lot on eBay, or because I would
Well, once they pull them out of the stores, if they're going to pull them out of the stores, the originals, then I'm sure that price is going to go up even
It's
more.
gonna go up even more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey,
Wait, who put it out there?
They did.
They did?
The devs, it was like this little, it was a joke that the devs did, and it was in the coding. So it got included in the first, I don't know, I think it was the first year or 2 years of production almost on San Andreas. I think when they were producing the
Mhm.
discs, it got included in there, but you had to, it wasn't something you could just access from the PlayStation. You actually had to use a computer, but you could access this little joke kind of
Mini
sex
game.
scene that they put together
Mhm.
within the coding, and it blew up, of course, because everybody found out about it, and that was back when video games were getting blamed for everything. And
Mhm.
another
They
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
get blamed for everything.
well, yeah, they are,
Yeah.
but not like they used to, right? But Grand Theft Auto was the main one they always focused on, so it was just another.
I just
misstep
remember
for them,
cracking up
so.
seeing it all over the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen it. I'm sure I can find it.
Oh,
if
well,
I
I
Yeah.
search
posted
Google.
it. I posted it in our DM chats.
Did you?
What's
Yeah.
funny,
Oh,
guys? You know who predicted? So you predicted that the Definitive Edition trilogy was coming to Game Pass, but hey, this is pretty close, babe. Like out of everybody, I remember we talked about it like just a couple episodes ago, and you always said like, "Hey, doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. $70 doesn't matter because we're gonna get to play it on Game Pass." You said that.
I did.
Smart woman.
I,
Yep,
I
you got a
don't.
third of
I
it.
didn't even
Woman's
think that was
intuition.
gonna happen.
The rest are gonna come as soon as Microsoft acquires Take-Two.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Listen, hey. We see each other. I see you. I see you.
I've been saying this
Woo.
since before E3, so
trying to tell
Just
you,
remember.
man.
Caitlin coming in
People
with
don't know.
Acquisition Friday. I
Yeah.
like it. Let's
Take-
go.
Take two WB. Here it comes.
so I do have a question about those games though. You said there's no multiplayer, there's no like online, but can you like roam the city by yourself and stuff without, or is it just like the story?
You can do
No,
whatever
it's-
you want to.
You do
It's
it.
Grand
You
Theft
want
Auto.
those
It's a
games. Grand Theft
sandbox.
Auto.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I've
wanna
never
go
played
get
the
five-
older ones,
You wanna
so
go
Yeah.
five? You played the new one. You played the old one. They just look
Yep.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so can
pretty
you
much what
still
it
go
is.
get like a hooker and then
Yeah.
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 get a
Yeah.
service
Mhm.
and then
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then kill
Well,
her
that's
and then
what the
take her
whole
money
Then kill her
back.
to get
Kill
your
her,
money
take her
back?
money.
Yeah. Get a refund.
Make the back of the cab bounce. Yeah, you can do all that.
Yeah.
That's her
Well, the-
favorite
and-
activity. And
In
It
San
is.
Andreas, you can lift weights and get
Yeah.
bulky.
And
You
you
can
get
eat
bulky.
too much and get fat. You can do
Right
all
on your
sorts of
bike.
things. Yeah.
The Mac 10.
Okay, so I am looking forward to it now.
yeah, we'll have some fun with it for sure. The funny thing is, like, out of all of them, for some reason, that's the one I've played the least.
San Andreas.
Interesting.
Yeah, just because I
Hmm.
think of the time that it came out, I was like, probably
When did it
busy
come
with
out?
something. I don't remember. It came out.
What was the
in,
year?
Like 99,
PS2 era?
2000, something like that.
Matt was streaming somewhere when that came
No,
out.
it's
That's what it was.
I wish I had started streaming back then. Oh my gosh, could you imagine like if we all started like YouTube and streaming and podcasting like 20
Yeah,
years ago?
she wouldn't have kicked you out of your game room if that was the case. Your game room would be 3 game rooms.
Yeah.
Wait, it came out in 2004?
Really?
Yeah.
2004? Wow.
Yep.
Okay, so that was
Wow.
I know exactly
15
why I
years
didn't
ago.
play it that much, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
that
say.
makes sense because original. Yeah, that makes sense because original Xbox was 2001. Sometimes you forget how how long these systems been out, or not how long they've been out, but how short of a time it's been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
it's
19. I
crazy.
didn't care about video games.
It feels
at
like that game
point.
was like that game is almost it's like 17 years ago.
Hmm.
It's going on 20 years since GTA San Andreas. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Milking that GTA money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think we're gonna get a GTA 6 within like 4 years. 4 years.
Mhm.
I,
You think
I would say
so?
that
Mhm.
PS6 and the new Xbox.
There's too much
would
money
get-
on the table, right? Like
they're still getting all that money with it.
they're
Yeah.
getting
They won't stop selling.
they're getting a lot of
Right?
money, but hear me out, right? Like
We're,
when they release GTA 6, you think they got a lot of money now.
I agree.
When they release
Oh
that,
yeah.
it's going to be like an explosion of income. Like they're just gonna make sure, I think, that they put so much into making it this huge monetization game that everybody's gonna hate, and then that's gonna surprise everybody, and we'll see.
It'll be a game
So,
where
so,
the
so you think we'll
multiplayer
probably
doesn't
get it
come
by
along.
2025?
2025, I would say
26.
into 2025.
26. I say 26 too.
Mhm.
It's
I
not
think
necessarily.
GTA is gonna chart this year again.
You think so? Yeah. Well, the remaster. Yeah, I will.
Well,
for
no,
sure.
I'm talking about the base game's gonna it's
But this
going
year,
to.
well, you work at
Yeah, this year.
GameStop, right? So like, you probably like see all those numbers.
I don't know. I wish it was that simple.
No,
They don't share those numbers
you
with
can't
us.
just like look up on your computer at work, say
Mm-mm.
number
I
one game
just-
selling this year.
I just know that there's a lot of people out here that ain't gonna have PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X, and they gonna still be buying GTA 5 for
Yeah.
$30.
Do you think a lot of people are
Mhm.
gonna get the remaster when it comes out next year?
Oh, they're gonna if they get a PS5, yeah.
Yeah. Is that remaster only on next gen, or is it like a Xbox One and PS4 remaster as well?
I think it's only on next gen.
I think it's only on next gen. Yeah.
I mean, it's no purpose for it if it. I mean,
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it was
to
delayed.
me,
Yeah.
because they
the
wanted
funny
to
thing
get
is
more
they've
systems
done
out
this
there.
before already. They did this with last gen, because remember GTA 5 came out
Yeah,
on 360 and
360, yeah.
PS3. So
Mhm.
like
Yep.
I actually recall back then when I just got my Xbox One in 2014, and Target was having a deal where if you traded in your 360 or PS3 GTA 5, you could get the Xbox One or PS4 version for just $30.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I did that. So I explicitly recalled them doing a whole like new version of the same game for last gen, and they're just doing it again. The exact same game.
We're
Mhm.
gonna
Exact
get a
same
Red
game.
Dead remaster eventually too. I hope that's
Yeah.
one I actually really want, because I just want at least a 60 frames update. Because my God, that game is so freaking gorgeous.
It's still good.
It's
I
stunning.
want better shooting. Oh man, like I think some of the
Yeah.
input lag with the shooting is
Oh, it's called
visible.
snapping.
You know what? I actually started to think because I mean, look, the game came out a while ago. Spoilers. Like, he's suffering from what's that disease? Can't remember the name of the disease. But he's suffering from a disease. I'm thinking like, oh, that's why he shoots so slow. Because it's like his tuberculosis, like his joints are on fire.
Yeah.
That's gotta be why he moves like this. But no, it was just input lag. Amazing story though. Loved it. I like some of the best like set pieces, like the part where they're like advancing on that house and they take out that entire family, and it's just like they're lined up
Mhm.
on the driveway walking that is like one of the most iconic scenes in gaming, I think. So like that game, I really thoroughly enjoyed that game, but oh man, the shooting.
Yeah, just imagine
Yeah.
like a remaster. They come out. Let's say they come out with a remaster or update or whatever, right? Because I don't know if Red Dead Redemption 2 really needs a remaster. I just think it needs an update, right? Like, but knowing
Yeah.
2K, they're gonna do like a remaster so they can sell it for $70, right?
Of course.
So I'm just wondering what they could do with it. Like, it put ray tracing in it and 60 frames and all that stuff to last gen game. That game could be
Real
even more
HDR.
incredible.
Yeah.
They're gonna make the horse crap in real life.
Anybody
Yeah.
seen that 8K that somebody put out of
Of
Red
that
Dead Redemption
mod.
2?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it
that
was-
mod
it was
8K.
insane.
Oh, wow, unbelievable. So yeah, I mean they would only have to do like a little bit just to get it up closer to max settings on like a PC. That would be perfect, right? For Red Dead
Right.
Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption
That-
1 definitely needs a remake.
That game still is pretty tough on PC hardware
Is
even
it?
today.
Is it?
Yeah, like you still see. I follow a lot of tech channels and a lot of benchmarking YouTube channels
Mhm.
where all they do is just benchmark like new graphics cards that come out, and usually the kind of games that they do, the way they do it is they'll take like half a dozen games or a dozen games and then compare two cards against each other using the same test bench. So the only thing that's different are the two cards, so you can see which one is better, which one performs better. And they usually try to get games that are very, very difficult to run or kind of poorly optimized, where it's basically just brute forcing. Now, I'm not saying Red Dead's poorly optimized, but a lot of games like Ubisoft games are always
Mhm.
there
Yep.
because they're, not optimized the best.
Watch
but
Dogs.
Red Dead, Watch Dogs, yes, Watch Dogs
Yep.
Legion is like one of the ones that's always
Division
up there,
2.
but not anymore. Not Division. No, you just taking a shot, sir. You know what? They don't have Destiny.
Could you not
up
hear that in
there
his voice
because
when he said
Destiny
it? Oh,
is
you.
so butt ugly. Nobody wants to see that. But
Excuse
no,
me?
like Red Dead is still one of those games that gets benchmarked all the time, because even now, like with the, say like the 3000 series RTX cards and RDNA 2 GPU cards, like none of those cards are really like giving you 120 frames per second in Red Dead 2. Like nothing is. A 3090 isn't doing that at
Wow.
4K. You're looking at like 80
Yeah.
with a 3090. It's pretty tough. And I could see them doing an update all across the board for all platforms is on at some point. And of course, I think if you're brand new to it, of course it'll be full price $70. But if you already have it, then you'll be like a free update. I think. I don't know. With Strauss,
SloMo.
maybe-
You're just talking about Strauss. Come on, man.
Maybe an
Exactly, like,
upgrade
he-
fee,
he-
like
he
the
could
director's
probably hit
cut,
you with it.
right? For maybe like Death Stranding,
Yeah.
$10 upgrade
Yeah.
fee, right? Something like that, at least. I
Yeah.
personally, for me, like whatever they've got to do, I'll buy that shit,
Right.
because that game is just freaking. It's a show. The fact that even ran on a 1X and it looked as good as it did, like with everything that's in
Yeah.
there, is pretty freaking incredible, right?
Well, that was a technical marvel.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't
Native
believe
4K, 30 frames per second, locked.
Locked.
Dude.
It didn't drop the 29 frames or anything like that. Stayed locked at 30. That was very, very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of PC gaming, one reason I was excited to have SloMo on the show today, because I know you have some interesting thoughts about the Halo PC version.
Oh boy.
And so I don't know
boy.
really. Okay, I don't really know anything about PC gaming settings and stuff like that, right? I have a PC. I'll play RTSs on and stuff like that don't come out for console, with that I wish they would, but I like don't really understand a lot of the stuff, like with a lot of that. And I know you do, right? So
Yeah.
they had Halo had their PC event, which a lot of people are saying a lot of good things about, and then some people are also disappointed, right, with some things, right? So what was your takeaway, like in some of the good and the bad, from the Halo PC video, where they kind of broke down a lot of the features and stuff?
Well, I'll start with the good first. I did like how they said they're handling ranked in multiplayer. I liked how they're kind of breaking it out by uh, the inputs that people are using, and breaking out by platform as well. I thought that was very smart of them, and very forward thinking, considering some of the apprehension some console gamers have with playing against PC players and crossplay stuff like that. I think man, that 6900 XT GPU, that Halo Infinite one, is it's a thing of beauty. I watched the little trailer of it like 7 times, when it was just like it's not doing anything. It's just like being just showcased and flipping around and just looking all pretty. I was like, dang, that's
For
a
me,
nice
that's so
looking GPU.
strange to have like something that goes inside of a box that's custom designed. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I know like Like even
Yeah,
my
but
PC,
everybody
you can
got that
see
tempered glass
Yeah,
side
yeah.
where you can see your
But
stuff.
I
Like
still
I'm
can't really
looking at my
see it
GPU
that
now.
well,
How you doing, gorgeous? How you doing? Like you just look at your stuff, and that's what all the RGB lights are so necessary, so that you can just see it glow and stuff. But
Yeah.
that GPU look pretty sweet. I think for me, some of the issues that I have is that, and this was kind of alluded to, a lot of people on the PC side kind of wondered about this because they started to notice that during the flights, people who had AMD GPUs didn't seem to have any problems,
Yeah,
but the
the
people with
NVIDIA side.
NVIDIA GPUs were having some issues. I was having issues. It was this, the first flight wasn't as bad, but the second flight was so bad with performance for me that I just started playing on my Series S because I said I'll just take 60 frames as long as it's a lock 60, and it was a lock 60. But on my PC, I was getting these frame pacing issues and these freezes like every 3 seconds. It made it unplayable because like you're in a shootout and then your game freezes. Now you're dead. You're just like, how did I die? I don't even know what happened to me. Like it's like that kind of stuff is just really annoying. I think probably only had like 3 matches on PC where it was like the minimalist of issues. Eventually near the end of the flight, I was kind of talking with Oh no Alex,
Yeah.
and me and him figured out some things to get it running on our PCs. I have a RTX 3070. He has a 2070 Super. These are probably top 5% in the overall PC gaming community in the world, GPUs.
Yeah.
And they're not running this game very well. So that's like concerning.
So
And their
was that
partnership with
like,
AMD.
I got a question about that though, real quick, because
Mhm.
I remember seeing a lot of stuff about that, but then like I think the last day or something, or one of the last 2 days, they said they like fixed some stuff with the flight.
It did
Was
get
it?
better. It
It
did get
did.
better,
Okay.
yeah. But it wasn't completely, the issues weren't completely alleviated. But it did get better. It did get better. I will admit that. Now, I think my concern as having an NVIDIA card is that it probably will not perform as great on my card as it should, like really for the kind of card that I have.
Right.
And their partnership with AMD that they announced kind of like really kind of made sense to a lot of people. Like, oh, okay, you're partnered with
Yeah.
AMD. You don't have DLSS at launch, which is, I mean, DLSS is amazing. It's NVIDIA's technology with machine learning and allowing like your GPU to essentially
It's a cheat
upscale.
code.
Is it
cheap,
kind of
yeah,
is it
like
kind of like
It's literally a
AMD's
Oh,
cheat
yeah.
code.
Fidelity FX
Yo,
type stuff or whatever?
it is.
No.
It is what it can do, and it's usually in a lot of games that have ray tracing. But what it can do, even if you don't have ray tracing in the game, forget that, doesn't matter. What it can do is increase your frame rates about like 30 frames, like right off the side. It can
Mhm.
give you that kind of additional performance. If you turn on ray tracing, having DLS on will actually like remove the hit that you took by turning on ray tracing. It's that
Yep.
great. And them not having it at launch is like, I'm just shaking my head like, I don't understand why you don't have DLSS, unless it was a business deal with AMD, where AMD's like, I'm kind of helping you optimize this game on PC. Could you not like have our competitors like superior DLSS implementation that's superior to super resolution at this point available at
Yeah.
launch, so that Nvidia can just tweet out about how the game performs better on their hardware when we're helping you? Like maybe that's what's going on. I don't know, but it's disappointing that it's not there. It's disappointing that ray tracing isn't there, because I recall last year, and forget the whole Craig thing. Okay, Craig was a funny meme. They laughed at it. We all laughed at it. We laughed. We were just like, well, hopefully they fix Craig's face before launch, right? But then when they announced, they said there's no ray tracing at launch. That's when I started to see people, and I was one of them, so maybe I saw it a little bit more. But people are like, yo, delay this game, man. How you like this? Supposed to be your flagship, your showcase. This is why this is the most powerful console. This is what we're doing. Look, Halo Infinite. Look at that. Look at it. right? And you don't got ray tracing. I'm like, dang, all right, delay the game. Now all the stuff happens. The multiplayer is great. The multiplayer plays great. I think it's 343's best gunplay. I think it's their best playing Halo. Forget Halo 4. Forget Halo Guardians. This is it. This is the closest they've gotten to what Bungie was able to deliver for us. But all that aside, we still haven't seen the campaign.
We're gonna.
You'll see
on
it
the
in like
15th.
3 weeks.
Yeah, on November 15th.
Okay, yeah.
Guaranteed.
I absolutely agree with that. Especially, Randall Insider said it first, so I was just like, well, when Rand says it, I believe it. He says it like, well, I guess they'll show it on the 15th. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, Rand.
They
right?
already think.
So-
I think they already said like they're gonna have Halo there. Like they have to, right? There's like in no world can they have that event and not show Halo at least there or before it. Because if they don't show the campaign before that and then have that event and continue not to show it, all shit's gonna hit the fan, right? If they don't show the campaign by the 15th. So I can guarantee you by the 15th we'll have seen more of the campaign.
I agree.
I think it's gonna be
I
on the
agree.
15th.
But I think it's just like hearing another thing that's not going to be ready at launch is disappointing. I'm concerned about performance. I want to play it on my PC, but I am a guy that is performance over everything. Yeah. So if I'm start playing on PC and it's a buggy mess, I'm going to my Series S.
Hold on, SloMo. Wait, let me ask you something now. If you're performance over everything, why do you give a shit about ray tracing? Because it fucking ruins performance on games.
Say it.
That's why I like DLSS. That's why I like
ray tracing. It kills performance.
He needs a feature to fix a feature.
30 frames modes in games to implement some bullshit ray tracing to make my reflections on water look a little bit better. I can't fucking tell it's ray tracing. It reflected anyway to begin with.
Great ray tracing changes the way a game looks.
Control. But there's no console games coming out, period, that have that kind of ray tracing, right? Like
that's true, which is why I play on the superior platform.
Here we go. PCMR is coming. Here we go.
Wait till Xbox. Wait till Xbox implements its machine learning and everything, then we'll definitely have that.
They're definitely working with AMD with their super resolution. Their super resolution is like it's a different way of doing it, but it's like DLSS where it can improve performances. It still give you all the graphical features that you're looking for. It's not as good as DLSS because NVIDIA has been doing it longer, but they're catching up. And they haven't. You see it a little bit in some games on consoles, but it's not quite there yet. It's going to get there. But even then, like the ray tracing you see on consoles, like ray trace shadows, like who gives a crap about ray trace shadows? Is it darker on this side or that side? Like who cares, right? The great stuff about ray tracing is the reflections, the lighting. Cyberpunk and with ray tracing on, it's a different looking game. It's completely different looking.
Watch Dogs did a good job. Watch Dogs on console did a good job.
Yeah, but Watch Dogs was 30 frames.
Just walk around.
Correct, it was 30 frames. Right. But from an appearance standpoint, it does change.
I want to move in my game, so like I don't want to sit there. You know what I mean?
But see, Matt, that's why I said that's why DLSS is so important to a lot of PC gamers, because it allows you to turn that stuff on that will cripple your hardware, but then it doesn't cripple your hardware because you can play it at least a rock solid 60 frames per second with all the bells and whistles on, and it looking like a shiny masterpiece, and you're just like, damn.
I understand as far as like PC goes, right? Because PC you can build up to the most unbelievable spec PC somebody could possibly own, right? But for console ray tracing, I do not care because I have not seen anything ray tracing on a console that has made me go, oh my god, look at that ray tracing. It's unfreaking believable. Right now, if I play at 30 frames, 1080p, then sometimes the game reflection on the water can look a little bit better. But look at Forza Horizon 5 and the tech that they're using and everything. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so gorgeous. It's so unbelievable. This beautiful game. It's not ray tracing, right?
No, they got a
like-
great screen space reflections implementation with the Force
Yep.
Tech hardware.
Yeah.
I mean the Force Tech game engine, which is like a lot of times that's just like it's even though you're not doing ray tracing, it's almost as good.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5, that game had me like, yo, I didn't think they could do better than the way Forza Horizon 4 looked, but they just basically proved me wrong with the way that game looks. All that said, math. I will never play a game at 30 frames per second again.
Oh,
ever.
I hate me neither, bro.
yeah.
And
I
you
didn't used
shouldn't.
to be that
You
way.
absolutely
Yeah.
shouldn't. But like this is like I think I'm gonna convert you, man. I think I can get you over to the PC side.
Nah.
You can't do
you
that,
wanna
dude.
play
I've
the-
tried so many times. I bought PCs and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna really commit. Then I have a driver issue and I'm fucking done. Like, no, I can't stand it. I boot dude. I can't even update my PC to Windows 11 because of some crap, and I watch all these YouTube videos. It's like I got to go into the BIOS and disable this thing.
I'm
and
not on
disable that.
Windows
Oh my
11
gosh.
either. You don't need to go to Windows 11 yet. It's not necessary.
Well, I can't.
Get over there when you need to.
It's like it won't let me.
Probably
man.
don't-
It's like frustrating, dude.
You probably
Like,
don't have the TPM. I think there's a security thing with the
the
BIOS.
it's the
I forgot what it's
CSM.
called.
I have to disable the CSM, and if I disable CSM, then my computer won't boot to Windows. So I can't even access Windows if I disable CSM. I got the TPM thing done. I can't
Yeah.
get rid of the fact that my PC doesn't recognize that I have enabled secure boot, which I have done that in the BIOS. I followed the instructions. But no, now it won't detect that I've enabled secure boot because something called CSM. So I have to go and disable CSM. The problem is when I disable that, my Windows won't boot to my computer won't boot to Windows. It's like an
Man, no.
unending thing. Of like, you
Guess
fix the
guess
problem,
what?
fine.
Sound like
you
just
don't need it.
console.
You don't need Windows 11. Like
Yeah.
I've seen benchmarks of games, the same PC running on Windows, benchmark games running on Windows 10 and then Windows 11. It's a difference of like 2 frames per second.
Yeah, but
2 or
don't you
3
want to have
frames.
the better looking
I
dashboard?
want that's what I want. I want all that stupid stuff.
No.
Don't you want all the new stuff? You know,
Care about
SloMo,
that?
the stuff that you can
No,
just
for
turn
real,
on your
though?
just the stuff you can turn on your Xbox. And wow, look, it's a 4K display now.
Yeah.
You
will
know,
see
it
that
just
for
works.
5 seconds before you boot up your game.
And you only see that Windows dashboard for 2.
See, I usually use the reason I want Windows 11 because I use my PC for all that other stuff more than I do gaming. Right? I game on the Xbox, the PlayStation, or the Switch. Right? And very rarely on PC. I just can't get myself into it. I've tried numerous times, but I understand.
I haven't
what
upgraded to Windows 11 yet because I'm concerned about, as a content creator, I'm concerned about all the other programs that I use, Shotcut or DaVinci Resolve for my uploading videos, video editing, OBS, Streamlabs OBS Studio for going live with the podcast and stuff like that. Like I'm concerned about using it for that. Like I go up to Windows 11 and then now like half the stuff I used to use doesn't work correctly, and I gotta like try to get it figured out.
I was
do
worried about
workarounds.
that.
That's why I don't really mess
People
with
were like,
it.
"Hey, everything works." So like I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try." But I can't do it.
But once these developers, like going back to like what we're talking about with the
Yeah, Halo
DLL, DML and VRS and FSR, once those are implemented, those drivers are implemented in developers' engines, we'll definitely see a great looking game on console with, and it's going to change a lot of things, at least with Xbox being our full RDNA 2. And we'll definitely get closest to PC experience that we can on the console. And it's just going to be great. I can't wait.
Babe, what did you think of Halo Infinite's graphics in the flight?
It was great. Good.
Oh, tell the truth.
Did you miss ray tracing? Did you know?
I wouldn't even be able to tell.
Right. Like, did you see reflections?
I don't remember. I was too busy killing bitches.
Yeah, you get screens.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yo, look, in the multiplayer, none of that stuff here. Like I would never have ray tracing on in the multiplayer. Like what
Exactly.
like no, I want my frames. I want 120 plus frames, frames per second in multiplayer. Absolutely. Like you could have your ray trace reflections. I'll be shooting you in the face while you're trying to figure out like why while you were lagging behind me, right? So that's what's more important in the multiplayer. It's just like in the campaign, which is unfortunately doesn't have co-op, but the campaign, that's where I want to see that kind of look, you know.
Yeah, that's where you have all the bells and whistles is campaign. You want it to have
Right.
everything, all that to look the prettiest, and you get a great experience. And then multiplayers, you don't.
Right.
Pong.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
What did you think of the graphics? Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought they looked fantastic. You know, for a Halo game. Are they the best ever? No, but they looked beautiful and it brought the Halo world to life. So therefore, that's all I can ask for from 343. I mean, again, I didn't expect anything less. I mean, when they showed off the campaign with Craig and stuff, that's why it was a disappointment. Because if you look at like Halo 5 today, it's still a freaking fantastic looking game. It was one of the best looking games of last gen. So I didn't have any doubts that 343 could do this. Obviously, they're using, you know, a new engine, if you want to call it a new engine. It's, you know, obviously built off of the Blam engine. But, you know, again, Slipspace, I figured that they had fine-tuned this thing since it is custom after all these years to get to this point where they can put out something like the flighting that looked absolutely phenomenal. It really did. And I think that when it comes to single player, again, this is my criticism of Xbox and Microsoft a little bit here. I think that they jumped the gun on ray tracing and pumping that word out a lot because they knew they were going to wait on RDNA 2 and they knew that they were going to have the ray tracing actual silicon versus software version. Again, I'm not tech savvy, but I know the basics. So when from everything that I've heard and learned through this whole thing, I think they were a little bit overconfident in what they were going to be able to do. And maybe they thought that that AMD and the tool sets were going to be a little bit better by this point, and that they were going to start seeing some of these big improvements, in performance that SloMo's talked about and that Psychonauts was talking about as well. So I think that they just kind of jumped the gun on this one, and they put that out there so much that people were expecting the same level that we could go and watch on PCs. If you didn't have a high-end PC, you could still go watch all the YouTube videos. And there was, again, it was a small percentage of people that have PCs that can do that at a high performance level, but still you could go see it. Like when they started showing Cyberpunk with ray tracing, like SloMo was talking about, I was watching those videos, right? I was like, yo, can we get this on console? And I was like, maybe this is what they're talking about, because it does change the world from my eyes. It really does. Ray tracing, when it's implemented correctly, can do all that and more to a game world, right? It can bring it more to life in my eyes. I know not everybody looks for that stuff. It's not the same for everybody else, but it can change the dynamic. So that's what I was kind of expecting when they were talking about all this ray tracing stuff, and that we would eventually get to that point. Again, Watch Dogs is the only one where I've been like, yo, if I could play this at 60 frames, I would play it this way all the time, because this is gorgeous, right? And that really impressed me. So I just think they jumped the gun. I think they put this word out there. The nice part is that we've now heard and we've seen with Forza Horizon 5 that they can use ray tracing. It does not have to be just specifically used for reflections. They can actually use that silicon for other things. Forza Horizon 5 is using it for the sound. And they're using ray trace sound. And I've seen some videos where, somebody was sitting in the city as the other cars were racing by and the sound bouncing off of the buildings realistically. That's cool. That's an update, right? That's something I would look for from a car game, from a racing game, right? Sound is ultra important. So I'm glad they can use it that way. Again, for me, I just want to see, I'm kind of done with the whole ray tracing thing until they can get the performance. Because if I had to choose one or the other, obviously performance every time wins out, right? Nonstop. But if they can get to the point where they can give me ray tracing 60 frames, cool. If it can't be 4K, I'm okay with that, right? If they have to drop it down, I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me as much. But I just want to see them get to that point. I just, again, said it a few times here, but I just think Microsoft did jump the gun pushing that so hard, thinking that that was going to be one of their big advantages. And in the end, it hasn't turned out that way yet. Not to say by the end of the generation, it won't be there. Just saying right now, it's just not showing up the way they thought it would. So,
yeah. I think it'll come eventually, right? Like
Yeah.
a couple
It
years
will.
from now, all this stuff, all this tech, Unreal Engine 5, all these things that they're talking about is going to improve performance. I just don't care about it until it doesn't have such an impact on the performance, right? And if I have to sacrifice a smooth gameplay experience to get better lighting or reflections in a game, it's not enough of a trade-off with what I've seen yet, right? In the future, I think it's
Agreed.
going to be great, but I for console gaming, it's not. I think it's just something that is a tag word right now that people are like, oh, cool, ray tracing, it's like next gen, right? And then they hear that it's not there, and it's just all of a sudden this immediate disappointment.
it's being used against them now,
Right.
Because they pumped it so much. Now it's being
And
used
that's their
against them when
fault.
it's not
Again,
showing up.
They shouldn't have, they shouldn't have used that in the past to hype stuff up, right? That goes on mistakes Xbox has made in the past with this game and other games as well with their marketing. Get it kind of putting their foot in their mouths before they're ready to actually show something, right?
Right.
Well, I think definitely because they have the hardware accelerated process to do ray tracing, so they wanted to put that out there at least to say, hey, we have the hardware that can do hardware accelerated ray tracing versus software accelerated ray
which
tracing.
is true, right? It's
Yeah,
just,
So
it's just not
once
being
that's
utilized
implemented,
yet.
Yeah, it was an
It's
advantage,
definitely-
but unless you can show it off, right, Psycho, it doesn't matter if it's an advantage because it's just all talk at that point.
exactly.
Right.
But
That's the problem.
once these tools definitely get utilized, and Slip's Race engine is still new. It's they haven't. This is Halo Infinite. This is the very first game that's going to be utilizing this new engine. So they're still working on that. But give it a couple of years, we'll see those advantages. Everything they promised, everything that they've told us in the very beginning, we will start seeing these implemented in games, and then when third parties start seeing Microsoft's games looking stellar, they're going to put more effort to their games coming to Xbox, and we'll see them as well with third parties.
To SloMo's point, though, I don't understand why there's not at PC at launch, because PC has highest spec out there, so it should be able to handle stuff like that, right? I would think.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like doubly disappointing because this was something that they announced last year that wasn't going to be available, and then when they delayed it, people just said, "Oh, okay, so it's going to be available at launch when it comes out next year," and then now it's also still not available. It's just like, wait, what? So what were you working on? Like that it's, at least on the PC side, like what were you working on? Now I will admit that not just admit this is something I've always kind of felt like there are some, as hardcore gamers, there are some things I think that are kind of gimmicky things in visuals, or more so we have overvalued some things based off of marketing, like resolution. Resolution is overrated by far. Some of the best games that we have seen, some of the games that you said, okay, what's the best looking game you can think of last generation? That game wasn't running at native 4K. It was likely something kind of dynamic resolution. They say dynamic 4K, but then when you look at Digital Foundry, VG Tech, Candyland, whoever, at no point did that game ever hit 4K. It's like the max dynamically hit was 1800p. Really, what makes games beautiful isn't the resolution, it's the texture detail.
Yeah.
It's the sharpening, it's particle effects, it's screen space reflections, it's like the resolution of water, is water, like all kind. There's so many other aspects of the whole package that we don't really see, and resolution is just one part of it. And just so happens resolution is the most expensive part of it. So that's why it's the one that gets kind of like dropped down to dynamic. I play the majority of my games on my high-end PC at 1440p.
Yeah, you're probably getting like
it
100
looks
plus
great.
frames, right? On almost every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
almost every game I'm playing at over 100 frames per second, and it still looks great. And I play at ultra settings or very high, and it's a better performing and visually looking game than if I went to my other second monitor, which is a 4K monitor, and I played at 4K 60.
I'm going to give props to PlayStation on something here, right? Because on a lot of their games, they have this 1440p 60 frames with ray tracing mode, right?
Yeah.
Like Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, right? It may be like between 1080, 1440 or something, right? But however, I would rather play that version if I want to experience ray tracing than a 4K 30, right? So usually they have like a 3 options right there. They have like the 4K 30 ray tracing, they have the 1440 60 ray tracing, and then they have the without ray tracing that it's 4K 60 or whatever, right? Or dynamic 4K or whatever. That middle one is a good middle ground for people that want the texture detail and the graphics and the ray tracing and stuff. When you're sacrificing more on resolution and texture detail sometimes as opposed to frames, right? So I appreciate them making those options available. That's something I would like Xbox to do on some more of those options instead of just 2 for their games as well.
Overall for consoles, I'd like developers to start giving us more. They've started now, but I'd like them to increase the options and give us some of those PC flexibility when available to be able to adjust it ourselves, right, SloMo? So you can adjust it the way that you like it and get the performance versus the resolution that you want. Because that now that consoles are so close to PC with x86 and stuff, they should be able to implement some of that. I'm not saying all of it. Like there's some stuff that just, consoles, the way they're set up, aren't able to do, but give us just some more so we can tweak it the way that we like it and kind of customize our experience to what we're seeing. Because not everybody sees the same things. Shout out to my brother, Steel Rain, my brother from another. He preaches exactly what you were just talking about, SloMo, all the time. He plays on both console and PC as well, but he always talks about how developers should be focusing on those texture details, that little things that make the game more than taking resources away just to get to say that you're at 4K. Don't do that. Don't do that stuff. Give us the detail in the animations. Give us the detail in the armor. Give us the detail in the world versus that resolution. Because at the end of the day, that's going to enhance the experience more than 4K versus 1440 ever will on any level. So yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
That Steel Rain guy sounds like a very smart individual.
He is.
He's a smart. Hey, shout out to Crazy Louie Gaming. Hit us with a huge $20 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. His support is always super appreciated. He says ray tracing for campaigns, I am okay with it. Look at Far Cry 6. It doesn't have ray tracing, and it's the most beautiful game he's seen though. And FPS all the way for multiplayer. I think Far Cry, like if you get up close to a lot of the textures, can like be missing some stuff sometimes, but they achieve their beauty with like just like great art direction, right? Like the sunsets, the lighting, like the way the water looks with the lighting and stuff. That they've done a lot of great things with that engine that has kind of dated, honestly, right? To make that game still look gorgeous, right? Because you'll stop sometimes and just have to take pictures left and right in Far Cry 6. I don't know what it looks like even on PC. I could imagine that running like on a 3090 too. Like,
yes, it looks pretty nice. He mentioned there's no ray tracing. I know like on consoles there isn't, but on PC there is ray tracing for Far Cry 6.
Yeah,
I haven't played it yet, so I can't really speak to how well it's implemented. It's a Ubisoft game, so it probably like really kicks your PC in the balls, but it probably still looks really great though. Like that's usually what happens with Ubisoft. Their games look great, but they're kind of rough on your PC hardware.
right. All right, guys. So moving past this, I mean, overall, I think a Halo PC is going to be like a fine experience. One thing that they've also proven, I think Microsoft and Xbox has the last couple years, that they're going to keep updating and optimizing and working on these games and get them up to snuff. And because there's a lot of games now that still getting updates and they look better like almost monthly, right? Including Master Chief Collection. So
yeah, Halo Infinite in 2022 is going to look like a much better game than on every platform it comes out on than it will at launch.
I can't wait to see it on the 15th to see where it's at now, because if it looks as good as the multiplayer does, I'm gonna be happy. Like
I think PC. I think they have ray tracing almost ready for PC, but I think they're waiting just a little bit longer for it being closer to being ready for console, so they can launch it either at the same time or close to each other being released. So this way, both console and PC can experience ray tracing. So that's what I think is happening. Why they're not releasing it PC yet?
Yeah, maybe. We got some other cool news, guys. So moving on from that. Now this is goes in the rumor territory, but because of the confidence in which he has spoken this, we have word from Special Nick from Xbox Era about Killer Instinct 2 being greenlit and is actually in active development, he said.
Who's making it?
That's the question. We don't know. You wanted to say, I could tell you want to say something, Pong. Spit it out.
No, I was just gonna say that Special Nick just said that was the next thing that he was hunting down was who the developer was. There was take this as a grain of salt. I talked about this on Boom Show. Take this with a grain of salt, but there was a 4chan post days prior to Special Nick's announcement that was talking about Killer Instinct 2, which was kind of weird, but they also said that it was in development. And again, this was like just a few days prior to Special Nick, but he said that the developer will make sense if you followed the Killer Instinct development from before. So Mav, you kind of went with
Iron Galaxy would be the one that makes sense, because Double Helix no longer technically even exists. They were acquired by Amazon Games and had been absorbed into that, so the name Double Helix doesn't even exist, and the creative directors of the old Killer Instinct are still with Amazon. So that would leave the only other team that worked on the 2013 Killer Instinct was Iron Galaxy, and they are out there still. That they do a lot of like ports and stuff like that for games, it seems like. So they had familiar with the franchise, so why not?
And Grubb addressed this as well on his show today, because somebody asked him, and he said he doesn't know who the developer is, and he thinks that Iron Galaxy is too busy, from what he knows, to be able to pull this off. And he said so he himself has not heard the same news that Special Nick did as far as it in active development. He said he does know that Microsoft has a plan for it and wants to get it done, but he hadn't heard it beyond that. Special Nick, though, was very confident from his source that it is in active development.
Usually, that's the thing, usually with these guys, when they say something like that, it's usually like, hey guys, I'm kind of hearing, or I'm kind of blah, blah, but he's like saying, no, this is this is happening.
He was very adamant.
Forte, does that, if this is true, like, again, this is rumor territory, guys, does this excite you that they finally potentially found somebody to make a Killer Instinct game?
It's about time.
Right?
When Xbox One came out, I played a crap ton of Killer Instinct. You know, shout out to my homeboy CDN the Third that streams on Twitch, one of the biggest Twitch streamers over there. I used to play Ghost Recon with him on original Xbox, and he used to stream that game religiously every day, and I used to be in there with him in the community fighting every day. That was like the game I played right next to Battlefield 4 every day. Those two games consistently, was really good at it. And all of a sudden, Iron Galaxy got bought up, and they left they left a big hole where it comes to Xbox and their development of a fighting game like Killer Instinct. I was a huge component of them trying to go out and replacing that, especially with the whole WB thing situation, with NetherRealm being something that could be available. If that doesn't happen, I was just like, Sony has so much of a monopoly when it comes to fighting games right now. They needed to do something. And the fact that they have a amazing IP like Killer Instinct sitting there just dormant, doing nothing, was criminal to say the least. A lot of people enjoyed that game. A lot of people went out when they did come out with the physical release of the game, and they came out with the whole seasons with all of the different characters and different skins and everything. People went to the store and actually bought that because it was something that people wanted. And I'm hoping that they have came to the conclusion that we can't just sit on the sideline when it comes to fighting games anymore. We can't allow it to be a narrative where fighting games play best somewhere else, or just fighting games are just somewhere else in general. So this is a really, really good thing. When I heard this, I was like, I couldn't hope for anything to be right from a leak in general, because this is a leak that definitely needs to be true. It just comes down to finding the right fit for it. And let's be for real, Iron Galaxy knocked it out of the park when they did have a hold of it. And it's a shame that they are super busy doing other things that they wouldn't be able to do it. But there's not a lack of talent out there for people that would want to try something like Killer Instinct again. Yeah. And I think it's just a matter of time until they find that studio to do it. But it's something that needs to happen for Xbox.
Yeah, there's a lot of devs out there that could do it. And when Xbox says, we just don't know if we have the right person, I'm like, come on. You just go. There's like tons of fighting game devs out there that have worked on stuff all over that could do this, In fact, when Double Helix made it to begin with, I don't remember anybody saying, oh, that's gonna be awesome, Double Helix. Those guys, they're really well known for doing all these awesome things. But hey, look what they produced. They produced a really well-made fighting game. And then Iron Galaxy came on to continue working on it. And everybody was like, who's that? I never heard of them, right? Now they did great work on it too. So there's tons of studios out there that could do something like this that they could partner with. I'm just curious.
Also, it wouldn't surprise me if Iron Galaxy still could do it. That they do have 2 separate studios, and I mean they're a developer that has well over 100 developers on staff. Like, I know they do a lot of port work, and they're currently porting the Uncharted games to PC. But they could have one studio that does the port work and the other studio working on actual game that they are developing. It all depends on the developer and how their things are managed and divvied up. But I mean, it's still a possibility they could do it. I wouldn't be opposed to someone else doing it too. But I agree. There is definitely opportunity for a developer that isn't as popular as some of the other devs getting the opportunity to take this game on when clearly there is a community for it. And that's a huge hole in the portfolio for Xbox fighting games. So bringing back something that they actually own that's going to be just within their ecosystem and launched in Game Pass is going to be perfect for them.
Yeah. And I just think in general, this is just the type of game they need to keep alive. We always talk about all of the games that they have in their portfolio that they don't bring back. Yeah. This is a game that, especially since this game is recent. I mean, it hasn't been super recent, but recent enough to the point where everybody that has an Xbox One remembers this game. We don't need to go halfway through this generation and not see another Killer Instinct game. That doesn't need to happen.
It's already been too long. There should have been 2 or 3. There should have been another 2 games, potentially the last gen. The last gen lasted 7.
There should have been collabs by now with that game.
Yeah. Correct. And just to put a couple other little tidbits out there from the 4chan post, it was going to be made. It's supposedly being made in Unreal 5. And that it's going to be much more focused on the Xbox characters as well. So they are going to have the crossovers like Doom Guy and all that kind of stuff in there this time around. So I think that's interesting. And to SloMo's point, as far as Iron Galaxy goes, look, if Microsoft's footing the bill, if they finally got to the point where they're like, screw it, we're going to pay whatever we need to pay to get this thing done, Iron Galaxy is going to move their people around to make it happen when it comes to that kind of check. And if they need to bring on more staff to cover the other projects, they'll go out there and get the other staff that they need to do that. Not that that's easy to do. You can't put out an Indeed post and get a bunch of developers, but they'll find a way when it comes to Microsoft money if Microsoft decided to foot the bill on this thing. So
yeah, it looks like It looks like Iron Galaxy. The only thing they're working on right now, at least so it's posted, is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection for Windows.
for the
That's
PC.
the only thing.
Can't wait.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing they're working on. So if they got two teams, it
Whole
very,
slate.
very good
Full
possibility. They could be
There you
starting
go.
this
Slate.
weekend, and then we'll see. Once that game's out and released, then it will be full all hands on deck if Iron Galaxy is created.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
sequel.
if they are the ones.
Hey, SloMo, what was that quote that he said? We don't want to gate people from playing
Yeah.
great games.
Mhm.
Who said that?
What,
Jim
what
Ryan?
did Sean Layton
Jim
say?
Ryan.
What did Sean?
No,
Wow.
that was
that was what Jim Ryan said. But Sean Layton said that at some point you got to stop trying to get people to come to where you are to play your games, and,
You
and
gotta
start
go to
putting
them.
those games where they like to play, which is
Mhm.
exactly Sean Layton's the one that started the whole games.
Yeah,
Going,
It's just
PlayStation
crazy hearing
going-
these
going to
these
PC.
things from PlayStation. I never thought I would see the day.
Oh, man.
Obviously did.
More's
Reminds me
coming.
better.
More's coming.
The full slate.
That's-
I think
Hashtag just
Bloodborne's
won.
next. I
Hashtag
think
just won.
Bloodborne's next.
Well, you know what? If Bloodborne is next, that would also hopefully lead to an update or remaster for consoles as well, which I think a lot of people want. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because
Because
that
if
game
it-
performs like
so
yeah,
many
we-
people are asking for that. Could you imagine if it only the updated version came out for PC and people could play 120 frames on PC or whatever, and you still got the 30 frame version on console, and you didn't?
Well, it was like
could
that.
you
It was
imagine?
like that with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out on PC,
Wow.
and of course, it was kind of buggy at launch. It needed some work, but by the time they gave it like,
But they
good,
gave
like
it a 60 frames
60 days.
update finally for PS5, right, for Horizon.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that took
Okay.
months and months after it was already out, looking
Mhm.
beautiful on
Yep.
PC, and a lot of PlayStation
Yeah.
gamers was like,
Wow.
"Yo, we still playing with 30 frames over here
Yeah.
on my PlayStation 5."
Hey, speaking of which, while we're back on this real quick, did anybody see Tom Warren's tweet today that they GeoForce Now is unlocking it so that it's gonna be able to play on browsers? So
Yep.
we
Mhm.
might be able to play God of War and stuff off of the Xbox
Yeah.
browser. That would be
Well,
pretty
they have been.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, I heard some people have been playing Death Stranding that way,
Okay.
because like you can play it through, I think, GeForce
New.
Now, Death Stranding's in Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
is
the
it
Edge-
time
'cause
for
the
me to sell
Microsoft
my
Edge
PS5?
browser.
I'm just
Yeah, the
asking.
new Edge.
No.
The new Edge.
Yeah, the new Edge browser. Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be really interesting.
Wow. That's it. In the future, the guys, it's gonna be I'll be irrelevant. Like
For the most
anyway.
part.
So, but Killer Instinct, I want to ask, right? with Pong, there's one of the rumors. Like I would say, the Special Nick thing I would hold
Yeah.
as a little bit more credible, just because he's been right
Oh,
in the
yeah.
past, and he was
Absolutely.
so confident with this, right? But the 4chan thing, I'll say
Right.
is maybe less credible, just because it was so specific on things, and it was like kind of like dream game scenario stuff, right? That they're like checking these boxes and try and get people excited. But let's just assume, for shit's sake, that the 4chan thing is real, right? And
Mhm.
that they're focusing this on a more Xbox characters, right? Which I think is a good move, especially when you have Bethesda's ZeniMax in the mix now, and then you
Yeah.
have all these other teams and studios that you brought in. You also have all of Rare's old IPs and all these different things you can do stuff with. I want to build a roster with you guys for Killer Instinct. So I would start with Kate. I want one Xbox.
She's like, the fuck.
Give me one Xbox character you want to see in a fighting game.
Master Chief.
Easy. Okay.
Yeah, easy.
All right. So Master Chief. So I don't know how many we're gonna do, but this will be fun. So I think we actually did this before. All right. So Master
Did
Chief.
something like this.
Yeah. All right. Pong. Give me somebody.
I'll go out of the box. I'll go Corvo. Dishonored.
Corvo. That's a good
Yep.
one, dude. because he can
Yeah.
do like teleportation. shit.
Yes. Can you imagine the specials? Oh yeah.
Wow.
That'd be good stuff right there.
Okay. SloMo. You got anybody? Xbox?
Joanna Dark.
Joanna, dude, this is gonna be awesome. Whoever's Iron Galaxy, if you're listening, or whoever, Forte, give me Conquer. Oh, we're gonna have a rabid squirrel.
Yeah.
That would be great.
We gotta
would
have
be.
it. You gotta man. If Tekken
Banjo.
can have a
Let's go.
Banjo, if Tekken
Oh,
can
man.
have a freaking dinosaur, we can have a banjo. We can have a conquer. We can have a rabbit.
Well, you
You
know,
know, can you imagine like Conker doing like the Steve Austin and slamming a couple beers before one
Yeah.
of his attacks? That would be amazing.
Combo
And not just any
breaker.
conquer, not just any conquer. Conquer's bad fur day
Combo
conquer.
Yep.
breaker.
Yep.
I need pissed off conquer sitting on a chair.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Psycho.
Marcus Phoenix.
Okay, you gotta have Master Chief. You gotta have Marcus Phoenix, right? Like it's just
Yeah, I think those two are givens. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess I'll pick one too. They already did this, but I freaking love the Arbiter. Like one of my favorite.
Yeah,
characters.
Arbiter.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Arbiter as well. Okay, babe, you got another one?
Is this like just Microsoft?
Any of the Microsoft studios. So you have like Doom Guy, or like it would be with id Software. You got like,
Is Fable just Microsoft?
Fable's Microsoft. Yeah.
What about that little boy from Fable?
The chicken kicker or whatever. From the
I
first
don't know, the
Fable.
little
Chicken kicker
the little boy that's on the cover.
Yeah, that's you. That's your
from
character.
Albion.
Okay,
We're making
so you
literally
want
making the Xbox Smash Brothers game.
That
right
would
now.
be amazing. Like the little chicken kicker or chicken chaser or whatever the fuck they called him. I can't remember.
I love for him to have a move where he just pulls out a chicken and he kicks it at you.
Yes. Oh my
It's like-
god.
Chicken's beak like stabs you in the face or something.
And then if you're his opponent, you could like choke his chicken.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. Whoa.
Is that the finishing move? Wait, that's not
I just
bad.
realized he's a kid and that
Wow.
sounds really bad.
that kind of hit me.
Is
I
that
was
the
like,
finisher? Alright,
they would get in so much trouble for that.
hey, Pong?
Let's forget about that.
Geez, oh man. Hell, you could have the mimics from Prey.
The mimics
Oh.
from Prey. Okay.
Yeah.
What about BJ
Blazkowicz?
BJ
Blazkowicz.
Blazkowicz. Okay.
BJ Blazkowicz.
All right. Forte.
All the win.
Who is it?
All the win.
Alduin? Okay.
For Elder
Yeah.
Scrolls, we gotta have a crazy deranged
dragon?
dragon.
Yeah.
Alduin. All right. Psycho.
Love all the
Morgan Upre.
Who the fuck is that?
The main,
we
main
get into
character
the-
of Prey.
I'm wondering
Okay.
if this is. Are we starting to highlight the fact that Xbox needs to get some more iconic?
No, they got a lot. They
They
got a lot.
kind of do. They need some mascots, some
They need
icons.
some
man.
mascots.
It's like Master Chief, there's Phoenix. And I mean, they're just getting Doom Guy and Blazkowicz, and it's just like crickets after that, man. It's kind of tough.
I'm gonna stay in
It
the
is.
Halo universe, and I'm gonna go with Cortana.
that's
Cortana
not
could be
bad.
sick, but it's gonna be the.
I was
evil
gonna
Cortana.
say I was gonna say Cortana too. Then I thought of all the win, and I was like, yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay.
Locke.
Yeah.
Locke would be good.
Locke.
Yeah,
It'd be probably the one time people actually like Locke.
right. Or even the team from Halo Reach, like those like, two of those guys were actually in Gears 5, so they've already put them in a little bit of a crossover.
A Train
already.
would be pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or the Cold
Oh,
Train.
you could-
Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Not
Cold
A
You
Train.
lucky we knew what
Coltrane.
we-
Yeah.
You lucky
Yeah.
we knew what you were
Yeah.
talking
I don't know why.
about.
Who's A Train? Coltrane.
Yeah.
Isn't A Train from The Boys?
I
Yeah, A
TV show.
Tray is for the boys.
Fun
you're
pop,
right.
a
We
fun
know
pop
what- we know
episode
what
right
Matt's
now.
been
Jesus.
watching.
Yeah, no
My
doubt.
bad.
You could have
Whole
somebody in the power armor from Fallout
Ooh, yeah.
with the mini nuke. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Let's get some from the chat too. Okay, so we got Rasputin. That's a good one.
Rasputin. Are we talking Destiny now?
No, Raz from Psychonauts.
Yeah,
Oh, from
Senua
It's
from Hellblade.
Senua.
She'd be sick.
Senua.
Yep, she would be sick.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Actually, how did we miss that?
I don't know how we missed
Yeah,
that one.
that's a good one.
She's
Too many
almost guaranteed
studios.
to be in there, I think. Yeah.
Hey, all right, chat. Who else we got? Killer Instinct characters. We got a roster of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Saberwolf.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
You could have a
Oh,
car
don't
from
forget-
Forza Horizon in there.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta have a McLaren P1.
Yeah.
McLaren P1, baby.
Okay, a McLaren.
Forza 5, baby.
I mean,
First time they put a
don't
car
forget-
on a
Oh,
stage.
cameo. There you go.
Temple.
Oh, cameo.
Oh,
yeah.
how about a
Yes.
pinata from Viva Pinata?
Yep.
What about Project Milo? We never.
Oh, Milo. I
finally
also
put
want
Milo
Milo.
in
I
a
bring it
game.
up all the time, Forte. I
we
want Milo.
finally get a Milo game.
They'll probably have a character from Minecraft in there at some point.
This is turning out to
Oh,
be
we get a
ridiculous.
creeper?
Blockheads.
We get a creeper.
Now, I will say,
We
I
can
don't
get
know if this
Sam Fisher.
game is going to make a great Killer Instinct so far that we're building, but it would make a fantastic kart racer.
That too.
What
All
about
right.
Ori?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ori.
Ori.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
How about the
How about
kids from
Sam-
Grounded?
Sam Fisher.
Oh, you know who? I'm telling you who. I can't think of his name.
Just
How
have
did
the
we-
brood mother from
how
Grounded. in
did
there.
we forget about what's his name?
You forgot
Rise
too.
Son of Rome.
Oh
How did we
yeah.
forget?
Right.
How did we
Oh, yeah,
forget?
what's
We'll
his
just do
face?
Rise Guy.
Titus, what is his name? Marius Titus. I forget his name.
Titus.
Titus.
You got the teats in there. All
That's
right,
what
let's
it
go.
is.
Is it Marcus or
Is
Maris?
Yeah.
Is it Marcus? I don't know.
I don't
Marcus
know.
What
Titus?
about
But
Alan
do they
Wake?
even have the rights to
Ooh,
that
Alan Wake?
character, or
Yeah.
do they don't just
You think
own
he'd be
it?
He's
a
not
pussy?
Microsoft anymore though. He's not Xbox anymore. He's multi-platform.
Well, Alan Wake would be great, except he would just
Yeah.
point his flashlight at you. I don't know if he can do
Blind
anything
you?
else. Yeah.
Blind you and then shoot you in the face. That's all he do.
you read a book to you?
No, psycho.
They could add in those ugly bleeding edge characters if they want in.
Oh, how
God.
about Crazy Louis has State of Decay? So how about a State of Decay zombie?
Oh,
Ooh,
that'd
a
be pretty
bloater?
Yeah, the bloater, State of Decay
This-
bloater. There you go.
This whole competition will be over. Xbox did what they were supposed to do back in 2007 and bought BioWare. We could have just
Right.
had Commander
Commander
Shepard
Shepard.
and
Yep.
win it all.
Garrus.
Yep.
Garrus.
That would have
Garrus.
been literally the
Alley.
match right there.
Right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right.
That's a good one.
So I got the roster, guys. Y'all ready?
Oh Jesus. Here we go. Yep.
Killer Instinct 2 coming out 2022
Do we have Killer Instinct characters in this game?
with
Yeah, they're all there, Forte, but we're not worried
they're
about
all
them.
there. Jago's gonna be there. Saberwolf's gonna be there. All those fuckers, right?
Django.
Coming
Hold on,
Jay.
Mav, hold
Yeah.
on. Did we add Raz from Psychonauts 2
Yes,
yet?
yes. We
No.
got Raz.
Yeah.
Oh, do we? Do we
Yeah.
got Raz?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Raz.
Yeah, we got Raz. We got Raz.
Okay, good.
All right, so coming 2022 with ray tracing at 60 frames per second
With ray tracing.
on the Series X,
Let's go.
Unreal 5. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Unreal Engine 5, with DLSS, VRR, and VRA-XS.
We just made that up.
I did. I don't know. We have
DLSSXBRZZZB KGB.
Not two.
with ray traced shadows, audio, and reflections.
Tier 2.
Oh boy.
Master Chief against Corvo, Joanna Dark, Conquer, Marcus Phoenix, the Arbiter, Chicken Kicker, Mimic from Prey, BJ Blazkowicz, Alduin, whoever, the dragon guy from Skyrim.
All the win. All the
Alduin.
win.
Somebody named Morgan. Cortana. Locke. Coltrane. Rasputin, Sinua, McLaren, P1, a car. Will fit
Oh, well, we
in
forgot
this world.
we need an Airbus too.
Cameo.
Yeah.
Simulator.
We need an Airbus too. We gonna go all the way.
Airbus will do it too. So have a 757.
Or
Yeah.
you could get the Pelican in there.
757.
A Pelican.
Pelican, not the bird kind, the halo kind, a pelican. Then we got Viva Pinata, Milo, Rise Guy,
Oh,
Alan
Rise
Wake, who they
Guy.
don't have the rights to anymore, I don't think, and also a State of Decay bloater.
we'll make exceptions.
We'll make exceptions. This roster is shaping up to be fantastic. We have made the best Killer Instinct game ever right now.
Oh my
Let's hope
God.
Iron Galaxy, you bring this to fruition, and let's make the extra unlockable characters Colt Eastwood and Dealer Gaming just to be in there, because they are Xbox mascots.
Oh my God.
And hey, I love the fact that the porn bots are finding our channel again. Thank you so much. We appreciate you attending.
You've made it big. You've made it big.
Yeah.
They're making money off of you. So
Hey. Guys, we could dive into some other stuff. There's like other things that we could dive into, but it's been 2 hours. I think this was a great time. I want to say thank you to the DPS brothers, Forte and SloMo. Thank you guys for joining. SloMo,
and they didn't fight over the past hour.
No,
which was pretty
we're having
impressive.
too much
That
fun.
was, that was pretty
Yeah,
good,
we
guys.
were
No,
having
so
way
when,
too
when
much fun.
SloMo is actually when SloMo's making sense, it's kind of hard to go
Oh,
against his, go
I
against
am
his
always
objectivity.
making sense, sir. Always making sense.
Okay.
SloMo, where can everybody find you, sir?
Well, first off, thank you for inviting me, man. This is a good time. I have fun. I didn't argue with Forte too much. He
Yeah.
didn't say any words incorrectly that irked me. So it was a great time. You guys are awesome. Your chat is very, very very awesome as well. You guys can find me on my channel, SloMo Backslap. We actually had Damage Per Second podcast, DPS podcast last night. On my channel, check that out if you like. We had the Ash and Luca on. Luca is a very good friend of ours.
SloMo's mother. That's SloMo's mother.
Shout out to the queen.
That's not my mother. That's not my mother. I am older than her.
She
by
claims
like 12
you.
years. She
claims
she
you,
can
though.
claim whatever she wants. Anyway, look, we had a great show. Come check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Next week we'll have DPS on Forte's channel, 9 p.m. Thursdays, and had a great time. Hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy your games.
Yeah, man. Oh, thank you for being here, dude. A blast having you on.
No problem.
Forte, hey, dude.
Yo.
Where can everybody find your awesomeness?
Yeah, man. First of all, I appreciate the invite. Being here with you guys is amazing. I will always, come through on this show because you guys have a lot of fun on here, which doesn't happen on every podcast that you gotta go. Everybody takes stuff too serious, and I like
Yeah.
the energy that you guys bring consistently. I can one moment we be talking about Jim Ryan doing something crazy, and the next minute we talking about making our own fighting game, and that's pretty cool, and
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. But and also doing a show with SloMo. I don't do too many shows with SloMo because I need my space. But SloMo being here with me, makes this even more better. So our first episode on this show was amazing, and I appreciate it. But Gaming Forte everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation. Like he said, DPS will be on my channel next week. Come check that out. Got some videos in the work. So if you're into the whole Xbox thing and Destiny thing, definitely come check out the channel. And you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the games that you're playing.
Yeah, man. Again, thank you for being here, dude. You guys were
No,
blessed.
thank you for the invite.
Yeah, well, I sent it to y'all last minute. I was like, hey, you know what? Like, let's see if we can get Forte and SloMo on here. And like I said, I didn't tell about each other until each one of you said yes. So that way it made sure that my chances were higher, Um,
Well, I do have a question for you, Mav.
Yeah.
Did we win that basketball game last night that my Xbox kicked me out of last night?
yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that
Okay.
one we won.
Okay.
We're playing with your. I forget the name of your friend.
Y'all play with Neil before God. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I can't remember. I'm gonna.
How do
say
you not
yes.
remember?
I don't
That's
know.
because he wasn't streaming. That's why.
Yeah, that's why I
What-
stream, because it's the only proof I have that I actually win games.
Like
Right.
Mav, when Mav's not streaming, Mav is a completely hey y'all, Mav is a completely different person when he's not streaming.
Yeah,
What do you
he
mean by
is.
that?
Interesting.
He's not his PC.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
man, you gotta be. Yeah,
Wait.
you gotta be. No, you gotta be an adult. Listen, you gotta be at a
Forte,
party.
please elaborate, sir.
Go
Let's-
back
let's-
and listen.
let's-
Wait, wait, wait.
We'll
Let's
talk
get
about
some
that.
quotes
Listen.
here.
We'll talk about that after the show. Mav has a persona he has to keep up with.
Okay.
Forte, go back and
Love
listen
it.
to our early after show gaming with Halo back in the day. Trust me, you get the real Mav there as well. So, and he was streaming.
Oh no, this is the this is the real Mav. I love Mav. Mav is amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
So are
dude.
you, rest of you guys.
Kate, love you. Thanks for being here always. First in my heart. Where can everybody
So
find
weird
you?
sometimes.
It's
I
like
don't
he
know.
does it. He's in trouble.
It's
I
like he's about to go
always-
I love you,
somewhere.
baby.
It's good though.
I feel
He
weird.
should
outroing
always
you 'cause
like
I'm gonna
think
see you
he's in a
downstairs.
little bit of trouble.
I do. I always
Um,
feel that way. It's like it's like just a little bit.
Do you fear me?
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, you kill
You might-
younglings.
You
Yeah.
might smother him in his
You're a
sleep.
Sith Lord, for God's sakes. He better
Right.
fear you.
Mav acted like he ain't gonna walk
Sit on
downstairs
his
into the
face.
kitchen and walk right by you in the next 2 minutes.
No, I'm gonna say, hey, baby, when are we gonna eat?
She gonna make sure you put that food up that I cooked.
Did you make dinner tonight? I don't remember. I think we're getting something.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean-
make anything. I'm on
No.
a fucking podcast.
That's
Wait,
right.
listen. Look, first of all,
And she whipped up a lasagna real quick, you know.
Yeah, I was just. What the?
I
fuck
need
ever.
another. I need
I'm just
another.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I need another version of you guys going back and forth about food. When are we gonna get that?
Oh, the
That's
Mav and
hilarious.
Fancy show.
I
Yeah.
need that. When is it coming? Come on.
We were just arguing the other day in the car about Reese Pieces and like peanut butter M&Ms.
Oh
Just
my
want-
god.
You should have had
Oh,
a
because why do
Twitter space.
Well, Reese Pieces are better.
exactly?
No, no.
Why
What
do
the
peanut
fuck?
butter?
Why would you
M&Ms
want to
even need
eat? Like, wait, first of
exist?
all, why would
Because-
you want to eat Reese's Pieces? I mean, why would you want to eat peanut butter cups when they melt in your hand?
No. Peanut butter M&Ms.
Oh, that's even nastier.
Why would you eat Reese's Pieces when you can? The peanut butter M&Ms have chocolate also.
Because I could put more of those in my mouth.
But the peanut butter and the peanut butter M&Ms suck.
No,
Like,
it doesn't.
And I'm getting peanut butter because it's peanut butter. I don't like if I want the chocolate of an M&M, I'm just gonna go get the
If I
fucking
want peanut
M&M.
butter, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go get a big thing of Jiffy and just take a spoonful of it.
I figured out the solution. You get a box of M&Ms, you get a box of Reese Pieces, and you take one of each and you put them in your mouth, and that's the best thing you can get.
Plus, you
right
could
there.
put Reese Pieces inside of ice cream.
Yeah,
You can put peanut butter M&Ms inside of anything
you
you
made
want.
me want some Dairy Queen. I'm gonna go get a
But they're
freaking
too-
Dairy Queen
they're-
Blizzard.
Forte,
Size of
Forte,
this
look
thing.
what you started. See?
right?
This is what I wanted.
We just went left. And now we're in food.
This is
and
what
during
I wanted.
outro.
It's like my plan.
This show just went Ultra Instinct. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff in the future with it. We talked about maybe doing something on her channel with that potentially.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I didn't even know you had a channel. Thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, she needs to
I
put some
gotta
more
go.
stuff on it. It's like a
I
home
know.
for her
I've been
TikToks
sick
right now.
for like almost
Ever.
all of October.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will start posting TikToks and then put them on my YouTube soon. And you can also find me on Twitter at KaitlinX0615 and here every Friday. Thank you to our guests and chat. You guys were awesome as always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys, everybody in the chat was awesome. Mellow Fellow from outer space, dude. It was a blast today. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Yeah, just want to thank Forte and SloMo. You guys were awesome tonight. Chat, you were amazing as always. And shout out to 3-Bit Lady and AssassinLupa. Miss you guys. Can't wait to have you guys back on the show. Guys can find me everywhere. Psychonauts8 on social media. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Gamer Chat Podcast. Gamer Chat's one word. And Wednesdays at 7 on Fun Pop, and here every Friday with the Magnificent 7 here at 9 o'clock, shooting the shit and talking about games.
Yeah, man. And real quick before we get to Pong's long outro, we got Vic the Click with a $5 super chat that says, "Awesome show, guys, lady. Well, from what bit I heard, my machine at work decided it was more important than the podcast." Oh, that sucks, man. But hey, we got this goes up on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that stuff, as well as you can always check out the shows later on demand. And we appreciate anybody who listens, no matter what you're listening on, or watches after the fact, as well as all the chat here that's live with us now. So thank you, and appreciate the super chat there, Vic. Pong.
Yes, sir.
My dude.
What's up, brother?
Where can everybody find all your thoughts?
Everywhere, because I'm a podcast whore.
Yes,
So I'm everywhere. No, awesome show tonight, Mav. Of course, you pulled it off, brother. Once again, go out and get a couple AAA guests to show up on here. Forte and SloMo. Again, gentlemen, absolute pleasure to be on a show with you. Love what you guys do. Keep doing it. Again, look up to both of you. You guys just have some of the best thoughts, some of the best knowledge around out here in this community. So thank you for being here with us. Family, it was awesome. Missing you, 3-Bit, missing you, Lupa, missing you, Lady. Hope to get you all back real soon. It's not the same without the Magnificent 7 altogether here, but Friday nights are still absolutely amazing to show up, and I appreciate you, fam. All of you, nothing but love and respect. Chat, you guys, phenomenal. Love seeing all of the beautiful people, as my brother from Another Steel Rain likes to say. And speaking of him, tomorrow morning, get those alarms set right now. Get your game playing in. Crack of dawn, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Come check us out. Living Split Screen. Split Screen's all one word. You guys know that by now, but come see us. We are going to wake you up, or you can just keep sleeping through us, but have us on in the background. Okay, period. 3 p.m. UK time. Yeah. Be there. Guess what? We're done talking about 2-hour shows. You know it's Steel and I, so it's going to be a 3-hour plus show. This is how we roll now. Okay, we're done trying to even cut it to 2. Okay, so 3 hours plus. Tomorrow morning, get ready. Living Split Screen. Tomorrow night, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam, Centurion, Fuzzy Belvedere. You know the drill. We will be there 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, 6 p.m. Arizona time, as PTK likes to point out, until the time change happens again. Be there. Love that show. PTK deserves a lot bigger audience. Just come by and check us out. You're going to love what you hear. Absolutely, 100%. Dude's been doing it for 5 years, man. It's a great show. So come check us out there Saturday nights. Tuesday next week, Xbox Factor Podcast, Mr. Boomstick. You know the drill there. Zemi Games. 3-Bit is back in the house. Mav has joined the crew. We got Archimedes. We got myself. Hall of Fame panel. Xbox Factor Podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then Thursday night. That's right. Got another one now. Mav and I just got wrapped up.
Like a
PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM. Look, everybody can laugh at me. I don't care. This is the best time of my life. So guess what? I'm going to do this every outro. So
listen.
PM. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Finish your outro.
All right. PM in the PM. Pong and Mav in the PM. You know what it is. Come check out the last episode, which is our first episode of many. Mav has given me the captain's chair, which may be his biggest mistake, but he did it anyways. So come check us out on Thursday nights. Look, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. You're going to love it there. We had a great first show. So check that one out, and then come see us this coming Thursday. And I'll be back here next Friday for Xbox Ultimate. But hey, listen, as always, Golden Age of Gaming is here. Enjoy it. There is so much goodness to play right now. It's unbelievable. Go do it. Play what you love what you play, and I'm going to talk to you soon.
Wait, okay.
Yo, I am impressed. I am impressed, Pong.
Blown.
You do more podcasts than Forte.
Huh? You do more than you.
No, I was waiting for you to say, and we got Insomniac Podcast. We podcast in our sleep. 4 a.m. Wednesday night. Like, just like it was like hear us snore and then sleep talk about gaming topics. Every now and then we'll get sentence out. Like, so I was waiting for that to come out. I'm like, when does he have time to play games? This man's podcast on podcast. This podcast that podcast.
He is the
Man, that's two podcasts
encyclopedia
at one
of
time.
gaming. Dating back.
Listen,
to
I am not.
Listen, I will never listen. Shout out to Pong because I will never tell a person they do to me because I used to live that life. I did 4 or 5 podcasts in 1 week at one point, and the one thing I love about what you just did was the energy you brought to it. You enjoy every last one of those, and like you, and all the podcasts you were on, I were like literally members of at some point, and
That's
like Prime Time and PTK Blam. I did that for a year with him.
Yeah.
So the fact that you still love doing it is all that matters, man. So
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm blown away.
That's why
man.
it's so impressive. That's why I was like, man, this guy's energy. Like,
And
like
this
when
man
Matt
just
said
named
he's about to have the longest outro ever. And I
Look,
was
when he
like,
said
oh,
it, I
he's
was
just
like, what does he
making jokes.
mean?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Dude,
Like, he already had a
named-
long one, then we added one more, so it was like, okay,
Listen, not only did he name the podcast, he named every individual
it's on the
on
shows.
every one of those podcasts.
Mhm.
Shout out to you, bro. Shout out
Thank
to
you,
you,
man. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
My memory, like I try and do that, and I'm like, I can't because I always miss people. Right? It's like he's got this like crazy like memory. You can just pull stuff instantly. Right? So, Pong's great.
At least you don't forget to give people their outros.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
It was a
God,
thing.
man. Intro's
We almost
a
had
thing,
a
too.
we almost had a free agent that day.
Shout out to Enrique. Shout out to Enrique. That terrible memory.
Wow.
Oh man, that was a great night, man.
Brap. Shout out to Brap. Guys, this was fun. Check out all of our shows on Fun Speculation, Fun Pop, Xbox Ultimate, PM in the PM, Tidbits, FSP tomorrow. Guys,
You gotta
you guys
remember
out
for
rock. Yeah, I can't pull the stuff out like you do. It's like it's hard, man. I appreciate you guys tuning into all the stuff that we do and on this channel, the support and showing up all the time. It absolutely means the world. So thank you so much, and this has been a blast. I hope you all have a fantastic day. You guys have a good one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Later, everybody.